Good morning to all. Today, let us see the very important and interesting subject contemporary approaches to management. What is the purpose of this study? This course will familiarize the students with the changing approaches to management and equip them to deal with such changes. First of all, what do you mean by contemporary approach? Contemporary approach means new, recent, or current approaches in the field of management. For example, the way a steel company was running 100 years ago is different from today. However, one steel company today might say they use contemporary management. That means they use the same type of management that other steel companies use today. Now, we will see the today's topic, that is introduction about contemporary approaches to management. Contemporary approaches to management provides a framework of management practices based on more recent trends such as globalization, theory Z concept, McKinsey 7S approach, excellent models, productivity, and quality issues. John Bratton and Jeff Gold in the year 2012 stated that due to the appearance of global entities like the World Trade Organization, that is WTO, and the European Economic Community EEC, all organizations have to operate in the global economy. For this reason, all managers have to think globally even if they are operating in the local or domestic market. We are losing our market shares even in our domestic market because of competition from foreign companies. For this reason, it has become important for all managers to understand management on global perspective. Now, now see the globalization. First of all, what do you mean by the globalization? It is very important for contemporary approach to the management. Globalization as an ongoing process allows and promotes the development of economy of big countries as well as like developing countries like India that are seeking their place in the global market. Interactive communication has been enabled between peoples and companies, civil societies, organizations, and other institutions whose needs can be met over the internet anywhere in the world and at any time. Also, professional and competent human resources are needed, and therefore, it is necessary to invest in new knowledge and innovation, new technologies, and lifelong learning. So, this environment management sets its strategic goal through which it will be able to carry out the plans for the sale of products or services. Nowadays, a manager have to indisciplinary skills by making a lifelong education, because only in this way it is possible to respond to the constant and rapid changes in the world. So this is what the very essential thing. Nowadays all managers have to think globally to make a global economy. And the second important one is theory Z concept. uh, Theory Z concept is the first identified as a unique management approach by William Uchi. Is an American type of organization, type A, that were rooted in the United States tradition of individualism, with Japanese organization type J that grew upon the Japanese heritage of collectivism. uh, William Ushi uh, argued that an emerging management philosophy, which came to be called Theory Z, would allow organization to enjoy many of the advantages of both systems. And he presented his ideas fully in the 1981 in the year book called How American Companies Can Meet the Japanese Challenges. In this theory, Z concept has been explained. This book was among the best selling management book of the year in the 1980. So theory Z is an approach of management based upon a combination of American and Japanese management philosophies, and characterized by, among other things, long term job security, consensual decision making, slow evaluation and promotion procedures, and individual responsibility within a group context. For this, theory is focused on increasing employee loyalty to the company by providing a job for a life with a strong focus on well-being of the employee, and both on and the of the job. According to him, theory Z management tends to promote stable employment, high productivity, and high employee morale and satisfaction. So this is also a very important thing. And another one is McKinsey's 7S framework. Here you can see the 7 independent organizational factors that need to be managed by today's manager. It is very important. These factors are the strategy. Number one, what do you mean by strategy? It's to determine allocation of scarce resources and to commit the organization to a specific course of action. And the second one is structure, to determine the number of levels, that is a hierarchy level, and authority centers, that is it describes the size of the organization. And number three, systems, to determine organizational processes, procedures, reports and routines, that is policies and other things. So everything it is systemized, it should be. And then the fourth one, staff, to determine key human resource groups in an organization and describe them demographically. And whereas fifth one, style, to determine the manner in which manager should behave for achieving organizational goals, that is just like leadership qualities. And superordinate goals, it is also very important, that is shared vision, to determine guiding concepts that an organization needs to instill in its members. And finally, skills, it is also to determine the abilities of people in an organization. The 7S framework suggests that any changes in any S factor may result in adjustment of other S factors. Now, however, the concept of 8th S has been introduced by adding one more S called streaming. Streaming includes those areas that either directly or indirectly influence or shape all the 7 S. For example, governmental regulation have an impact on organization strategy. Certainly, the competition has an influence on structure, system, and even vision. So another example would be that is include what is happening in the global economy. So all of these factors exist outside of the organization in an area called as stream. Companies, in order to ensure alignment and development, need to take into account not only internal components but also what is happening outside the organization. So that is also, it is very important nowadays. And the another thing is we will see the excellence model. Excellence model is also very important, because when every organization should move towards this. Here the Peters and Waterman in the year 1982, they are pioneering work in search of excellence. They identified some common characteristics of excellent organization. There are few thing is there, that is a bias for action. Number one, what do you mean by that? Excellent firms make things happen. And number two, closeness to the customer, that is the firm know the customer and their needs, accordingly they should produce the product. That is what the important thing. And then autonomy and entrepreneurship, they value these in each employee, it's very important thing. And then productivity, Productivity, it is only achieved this through people based on trust, and then hands-on value driven management. So it is mandatory, and then stick to the knitting, that is they always deal from strength, and simple form lean staff, that is they develop cost effective work teams too. Simultaneous loose tight properties, so they decentralize many decision but retain tight overall control. So if these things happen, then automatically the organizational excellence will happen. Then we'll come to the productivity and quality issues. Productivity in the sense, it is the relationship between a given amount of output and the amount of input needed to produce it. That shows the efficiency. And whereas quality issues is, in the sense quality affects productivity too, and also losing customers and wasting resources. If one's quality is not good, then these things will be a problem. So for that, the total quality management is very important. That is the uniform commitment to quality in all areas of organization, promote an organization culture that meets consumers perception of quality. So this nowadays TQM is very important for all type of organization. Number one, as there are 5 principles are there. Number one is produce quality work the first time, focus on the customer, that is very important thing, and have a strategic approach to improvement and improve continuously, that is doing R&D and other things, encourage mutual respect and teamwork, and to be effective in improving quality. So these standards should maintain. Whereas global competition has also accentuated the need for enhancing quality and productivity. These two are the basic requirements to retain competitive advantage for any organization. Hence, the management practices should focus on these by developing human resources to sustain their competitive advantage. And finally, the only one topic is there, that is contemporary approaches to management and its environment. There are 4 contemporary approaches to management, that is socio-technical systems theory, and quantitative management theory, and organizational behavior, and finally systems theory. Socio-technical system theory, in the sense that is a job design that attempts to redesign tasks to optimize operation of a new technology while preserving employees, interpersonal relationship, and other human aspects of work. And then the second, quantitative management is another contemporary way to deal with the administration level that organizes numerical or factual examination as reason of choices. So these things will be important. And another one is the organizational behavior. It is also mainly considered the practices, cooperation, and interactions of laborers. So the coordination and teamwork is essential in this aspect. So organization climate, culture, everything should be good. Then only it will be a sustainability. Then system theory shows that the organization performance depends on how effective it is in providing goods or services using either natural or man-made independent parts. The internal, there are 3 environments will be there, is there. The internal environment of an organization is a set of employees, processes, and components inside then organization. The competitive environment involves the organization and competitors that can enter for any industry, channel function, form, or marketing activity. The macro environment of an organization involves other variables beyond the market, such as political, economical, social, and technological variables. Whereas internal environments, we know about all the inputs, and then macro environment, that is beyond the market condition, that is political, that we can't control it. And whereas the competitive environment is also, we should know about the other competitors strength and weakness, just like SWOT analysis, opportunities and threat too. The definitions of open system in the system theory is the organization that are affected by and they affect their external environments too. The organization is an open system because its components and process change due to external factors. So these complementary approaches are relevant in these three. Environment is very essential nowadays. So, okay, thank you.